Now we can go a little faster, guys. Same questions come. See, we do 2012 question 42. Now see how the same question is repeated. Lorenz curve for country A and B are shown in the diagram below. Yes, the Lorenz curve is not there in the past paper PDF I sent you. Small typing mistake on my end. This is the Lorenz curve. Okay. So with reference to the above diagram, which of the following statements is correct of country A and B? Guys, looking at country A and B, can you tell who has more equal and who is more unequal? Who is more equal in income distribution? This is country A and country B. So country A is more equal, right? Country B comparative to country A, they have more unequal income distribution. Then what can tell about their Gini coefficient? Country A's Gini coefficient, will it be lower or higher than country B? Country A, they have equal income distribution, means their Gini coefficient will be comparatively lower. These people's Gini coefficient will be comparatively higher. Now those small things have to run in your mind. Now A-level MCQ, okay, don't write all this. That's to keep in your mind. Okay, now think, what can you say? Country A has more equitable distribution of income than country B. Can you say that? Country A has more equitable income distribution than country B. Sounds right, no? Safe, no? More equitable, no? They are more close, no? So maybe this is correct. We'll see the others. Country A has less equitable distribution. No, they are more equal. No, they are close. Their Lorenz curve is close. So 2 is wrong. 3. Gini coefficient of country A is equal to 1. Is it equal to 1? No, no. It's a lower number. It's close to 0, but not 0 also, not 1 also. Wrong. Gini coefficient of country B is equal to 1. No. 1 means perfect inequality. They don't have perfect inequality. They have inequality, but it's closer to 1. Not equal to 1. Wrong. Gini coefficient of country A is greater. No, no. Country A's Gini coefficient we said will be lower. Can't be greater. Okay, so therefore, answer number 1. So can you see, guys, how easy this is? It looks like a very hard question. But once you know Gini coefficient and Lorenz curve, you can easily get the question. So go back to the 2011 question where we discussed if you joined late. Is that fine, guys? Chip? Okay. Gini coefficient will be equal to 1 if the Lorenz curve is like this. Right? If this is the Lorenz curve. So then area of A will be 10. Area of B will also be 10 plus 0. B is not there. No? So then Gini coefficient is equal to 1. So Gini, that's also not realistic. Gini coefficient equals to 1 means the richest person has all the income of the country. So practically no. Practically it can't be equal to 1. Gini coefficient 0 means everyone is getting the same income. Again, practically no. So 0 and 1 is the two ends. Okay. In case if the line of equality, what's the Gini coefficient? So if the Gini coefficient, if the Lorenz curve is in the line of equality, just think, try to do the calculation. Area of A will be 0. Area of A plus B will be this entire thing. This entire thing will be B. So let's say this is 10. So this will be 0, right? If the Lorenz curve is on the line of equality, Gini coefficient 0. If the Lorenz curve is like this red curve that I'm trying to highlight here, if it's like that, then Gini coefficient is 1. Both of these are practically impossible to happen. Okay. Then we'll go to 43. GNP per capita measured in US dollars using nominal exchange rate may be a poor indicator of comparative standards of living between high income countries and low income countries because of a divergence in what? What can you say, guys? No. Nominal exchange rates and purchasing power parity exchange rates, population growth rates, rates of prices and wage inflation, ratio of imports to national income, nominal effective exchange rate. So they are asking, why is the GNP per capita not a good measure to compare the living standards between two countries? What do you all think? Give me an answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of the differences in what, guys? So far, all the answers I have are different from each other. Others, what do you all think? 43. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? To tell me whether it's 1 or 2, you have to do the question first. No? Yes, the answer for this is number 1, right? Because of, you know what? Because even though, now see, for example, now you say in Sri Lanka, wait, how much is our GNP per capita? Or per capita income, GNIO, GDP? How much is the number for 2022? Fast track people, we did it last class. I recapped it. I told you the number. How much? Last class or the week before, 3,000. How much for 2022? Close to around 3,400, right? I also can't remember the exact number. That's GN per capita in the year 2022 is close to around 3,000. Remember, guys, this is the one reported in the. Can someone give me the exact number? Is it 3,474? Yes, no. This is the one, right? US dollars. No, 2022 is not 3,800. Guys, don't take answers from Google. This is according to the CBSL report 2022. Now, sometimes you all will Google Sri Lanka's per capita GNA. It comes, crazy numbers come, right? Trading economics, different platforms come. Okay. So, don't trust those and don't go and write those. Okay. When you all are searching for numbers and all, either it has to be a government source or maybe something like the World Bank or IMF. Don't go and write other numbers in your paper because those are not things. For the paper, guys, it's good for you all to know both 2021 and 2022. 2021, yeah, 2021 was definitely higher than this. Okay, so why is this not a good measure, guys? Now, in Sri Lanka, per capita GNI is 3,474. But let's say in US per capita GNI, maybe let's say 12,000 US dollars. Okay, not 12,000, maybe more. Let's say it's around 50,000 US dollars. Okay, why is this not a good measure to compare a poor and a high living standard country, guys? Because the purchasing power between these countries are different. What you can buy with 3,000 rupees in Sri Lanka, you can't use that money converted dollars and buy in US, because in USA living standard is high, right? Their cost of living is very high. So looking at this, it's not a very good, like just looking at dollar terms, right? It's not a good measure to compare the living standard. So because the purchasing powers, there can be exchange rate differences, right? Today the exchange rate is 200, next day it's 300. So then just looking at this dollar value, it's not a good measure. That's why we say here, because of what? Because of the differences in nominal exchange rates. Nominal exchange rates can change. And also the purchasing power parity exchange rate. Is that okay, guys? I am somewhat okay. That just comparing dollar terms between countries is not really a good measure. Because purchasing power and all of that are different from countries to countries. Is a little connected to unit number 10, since we have not done unit number 10. So so far in the past paper class, I'm not going to explain too much. I'll explain what is the purchasing power parity exchange rate, what is nominal exchange rate when we do unit number 10 MCQ. Okay, we'll go to 44. Okay, long run economic growth. Now this is what our country is trying to come to. Can't we take 3? 3 looks like the most second best answer. The rates of prices and wage. Not just the rates of prices and wage inflation. It's not really inflation, it's the purchasing power that we look at. Purchasing power and inflation, it's connected, but it's not the same. Okay. 42nd question was answer number 1. Right. 44. Long run economic growth in a country would be encouraged through which of the following combinations? Right. These days, guys, our government is trying to promote economic growth. So can be a question that comes in your paper also. So how can they do it? If you want to have long run economic growth, what should happen to savings rates? What should happen? So think, guys, remember in unit number 1, we learned the connection between savings, investments, and capital accumulation. The more and more savings means more and more money is there for investment. More and more money is being there for investment means the capital in the country grows up, economic growth. So savings rates, guys, have to be high. What about investment? No point if people are saving if that money is not channeled to investment. Investment should also be high. Then if you want to have economic growth, what should happen to interest rates? I share these in the past paper class group. Past paper interest rates have to go down. Did you see within, I think yesterday or day before, I showed how the central bank has now given directives to commercial banks to lower the interest rates. They have put interest rate caps also. They have said, okay, look here, for this one, maximum you can charge only this percent. For let's say credit cards, maximum this much. For pawning facilities, maximum this much. For this one's maximum this much. So overdraft, maximum this much of interest rate. So now central bank is even coming. They reduce the policy rates, they reduce the SRR. They are now also taking measures to put interest rate caps. Like they told there was moral suasion happening now. Okay, so central bank is telling, look here, do this, right? I want to promote economic growth. I want people to now improve private sector credit, right? So they're trying to improve the liquidity in the market. That's what the central bank is now trying to do, because there is more and more liquidity in the market, means they can give more and more loans and the economy grows. Okay, so which one is our answer then? High, high and low. Answer 2. Okay, 45. Now this answer we kind of learned before. Now we'll see if you all can give me an answer, guys. Demographic data for a country not are given below. Population in the working age, number in the labor force, number employed, number unemployed. Labor force participation rate. Remember I told you 3 equations. From those 3 equations only you get the question. How do you calculate labor force participation rate, Lamai? It's the labor force divided by your, not total population, from your working age population. From your working age population, how many of them participate in the labor force? So my labor force here, 30. Now, yes, if they have not given me this 30, can I do this question? Can I still do the question? I can still do the question. How? Because labor force is the addition of number of people employed and unemployed. So in usual questions, they don't give you the labor force. This question, they have made it easy. They have given you the labor force. Even if they don't give you that third line, right? You should know number of people employed plus unemployed gives you the labor force. Because from the labor force, so some people are employed, some people are unemployed. So you add those two, you go up to the labor force. So labor force here is 30. Working age population here, 50. So 30 over 50 into 100 should give you 60%. These are 3 marks, okay? Please don't mess this up. And why am I doing the 11 and 12 MCQs? Because so many people ignore these units. Now, can you see? There are around 8 questions that come. So 8 questions can be 16 marks. Right? 16 marks out of your 200 marks. Out of 100 got 8 marks. Now 8 marks out of your 100 can change your A to a B. Right? Your B to a A. Right? Now I remember, I can still remember, right? My best friend during A levels, right? This fellow didn't study too much of this. From the last 5 MCQs, he got around 4 of this wrong. Right? Around 4 of this wrong. Okay, from the last 5. That's from unit number 11, 12 and all. So, and his Z score, right, was I remember to get into Colombo management, the Z score was around 1.72. This guy had 1.71 something. Okay, so maybe that last 4 MCQs, that 8 marks that he got could have even changed his future. Right? So, you know, small things like that matter, guys. You must be like, I use 8 marks, no 2 marks, no, right? What is the big deal out of that? Okay, so you will be like, what nonsense. If you're planning for this thing and all, it takes a big difference. Okay, can I explain the answer? I guess the answer is what I did, right? The working labor force participation rate is the labor force divided by the working age population into 100. I explained the story before in the 2011 question. Would I recommend doing the essay questions from the last 12 units? If you're targeting for a really good result, no. If you're targeting just to pass, maybe, you know, use some current knowledge and do question number 9 and 10. But question number 9 and 10, they can throw questions from all the current issues that is happening. So if you're very updated with the current issues, you can write. But again, it has to be according to marking scheme. What you know might not be there in the marking scheme. Then they might not give you mark. So I will not recommend doing 9 and 10 because it's hard. If you want to get a good result, if you're planning to pass, just write some nonsense for 9 and 10 and you can pass. Okay, right, that's 45. Then guys, question 46. Economic growth is usually measured by the annual change in what? Yes, 11 and 12 comes from current issues. 11 and 12 is question number 9 and 10. It is easy, guys. I told you. GDP, this one. What? Economic growth is what? Economic growth is the increase in the potential capacity. But how do you measure the increase in potential capacity practically? That's the first thing that I taught you all today. You look at what? The growth in real GDP, or if you don't have GDP, you can say real GNP also, right? So this also is okay. Okay. Now, then 47. Dependency ratio. Who are dependents? How do we dependents? Yes, dependents are the small fellows and the old fellows, right? So who are the small fellows? Small fellows are children below the age of 50, right? Small fellows, right? Maybe your brothers and sisters. Now, you all are not dependents anymore, right? So children below the age of 15 and what? Plus the old people, right? Who is the old people? The people, the old fellows, let's say 64 years and more. So this over this divided by the working age population, you get the number of dependents. So the small people are dependents. They don't have income. No, they have to depend on the father and the mother. The old people, 64 and up, no income. They also have to depend on their children. So they are the dependents. The dependents divided by the working age population is what you call the dependency ratio. So which one do you think is the answer? The percentage of the population that is it number 5? Don't you think number 5 is incomplete? Number 5 says percentage of population that is below 15 and above 64. So below 15, above 64, but they are not saying as a percentage of what? Percentage, they are saying population below 15 and 64. No. So percentage of as a percentage of what? As a percentage of the working age population. So 5 looks a little incomplete. See if there is a better answer. See. Number of children to adults? No, not the number of children to adults. Percentage of unemployed to employed, that is the this thing. Non-working age population. Don't you think if these people are the working age, don't you think the children below 15 and the people above 64, we can call them the non-working age? Don't you think you can do that? Non-working age population to the working age population. The ratio of that, right? The ratio of the non-working age, that is the small children and the old people, as a percentage of the working age. So that looks more correct. And this looks more correct than 5. Because 5 just says small kids and old people. But small kids and old people as a percentage of the working age. That is the dependency ratio. They are not asking you who are the dependents. If they say who are the dependents, you can say children below 15, old people above 64. Those are the dependents. But dependency ratio is what? Ratio means something is to something. So it's the non-working age, the small kids and the old people as a percentage or as a ratio of the working age people. So answer number 3 is the most correct one. How many of you got that correct? Tricky one. Yes, got it correct. Most of you would have gone with number 5. Most of the answers I had on chat box was 5. And after that, when I said is 5 really correct, then now so many people started sending me 3. Okay, so answer is number 3. Do you all understand that part though? Fine, got it. That where you all made the mistake, because if you all, there is no matter doing mock exams or past papers or anything, if you're not going to learn from your mistake. Now, same thing when we start the mock exam series next month. If you are not learning from your mistake, no point. Okay. Otherwise, sitting hamadama ekama dana thama. Why are you coming to this class? So to do the papers, learn from the mistake, so that next time if this question comes in your paper, you won't make the mistake. Now, that is why there is no point doing thousands and thousands of questions if you're not learning the mistakes. Every paper, if you can learn where you went wrong, that is the most valuable thing, guys. So don't focus on so much of quantity also. Maybe you all might have so much of school term papers and right? Other school papers, right? You have around 100 papers from different people, right? But you know you're not learning anything from that. No point, don't do. Always you have to learn, then you will do better the next time. Right, 48 components of the Human Development Index. I think I put a picture here, guys. Now, Human Development Index, I'm not going to teach. It was there directly in my tutor also. So Human Development Index also looks at health, right? Long and healthy life. We call this longevity. Okay, a long and healthy life. We call this longevity. Then knowledge. This is the education part, and also a decent standard of living. Okay, these are the three main dimensions of the Human Development Index. Now, 2011 paper, we discussed multidimensional poverty index. That's a different one. This is a different one. Okay. So what is the main three, guys? So what are one of the components they are asked? So look at the components. For long and healthy life, you have life expectancy. For education, you have expected years and mean years of schooling. For standard of living, you have the GNP per capita adjusted for the purchasing power parity exchange rate. So which one? Life expectancy, right? Number 3 here, life expectancy is here. So out of this, they are asking which one of this is a mistake. These are indicators. So you all need to know. It's not a hard question. It's a very easy question if you know your basics of unit number 11 and 12. Okay? Mean years of schooling mean the average years of schooling. So in Sri Lanka, the expected years of schooling is around 14 years. So we expect people to go to grade 1 to grade 11 O levels, 3 years A levels. So average mean years of expected years of schooling 14. But does everyone go for 14? No. Some people drop out after grade 6. Some people after O levels. So average years of schooling in Sri Lanka is only around 10 point something. That's what you call the mean years of school. How to identify? Identify one. There's any questions on this? Problems, issues? That's not. Which are? Okay, this is a Human Development Index. Okay, this is just pictures I took from the United Nations website, right? Before the class, I told this thing. It's there in your tudes, okay? Remember the 3 dimensions: health, knowledge, and this. And under that, you have these indicators. And it's all there directly in your. Here. So here it's is Human Development Index. Then, guys, the last 2 questions are BRICS. Can be a question in your year, a current question. BRICS countries include who and who, guys? Who are the BRICS countries? They are not going to ask you who are the BRICS countries. They are going to ask you who is newly going to join the BRICS country. Who is newly going to join the BRICS country? The BRICS countries, guys, are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, so no, Sri Lanka is not joining. These are the BRICS countries, guys. So remember, BRICS is a this thing. So these 5 people are these 5 people, right? So these 5 countries are the ones who are already there. So who is going to join? Who is newly going to join, guys? There are 6 countries who are newly going to join. One is Saudi Arabia, correct? So apart from Saudi Arabia, guys, in January 2024, they're supposed to join in January 2024. They have not joined yet. Okay, these are the 5 countries, guys. Saudi Arabia, I put it over here. Saudi Arabia, right? Please make a note, write it on your past paper. Can be a current context. We don't know though, I'm saying. Okay, they are not going to ask you what are the 5 countries of BRICS. If they ask that, I think write the same thing: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But they can ask you who's going to newly join. Mainly, who's going to newly join is Saudi, Iran, and United Arab Emirates. These 3 countries are going to be a part of the oil part, right? It's going to make the BRICS more, let's say, bigger because these are the oil making countries. Okay, along with Saudi, UAE, and Iran, there is Ethiopia and Egypt, Ethiopia, and Argentina. So 6 more countries are going to join BRICS if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't know if there will be delays or not. For now, they are estimated to join by 2024 January. So have that in mind. Can be a question in your paper. They can ask you which one of the following is a country that is supposed to join the BRICS newly. Or they can say, they are going to have a in 2024 January, the BRICS is going to recruit new members. Which one of the following is a country? So they can give you some other countries, and one of this name can be a MCQ. Maybe they can ask you which of the following are the countries that are going to join. So in one answer, you can have around 5-6 countries, right? So you can get an MCQ. Have that in mind. Is that okay, guys? Just make a note and keep. Fine. So 6 countries are going to join. Saudi, UAE, Iran, mainly for the oil segment. The other countries also, somehow they have taken. Okay. Right. 50. Which of the following provinces in Sri Lanka has the highest poverty headcount index? Guys, please go through the 2019 poverty headcount survey. Okay, it's there on the this thing. So for those who don't know how to find it, or those who will be watching the video in the future, right? So go to search poverty indicator Sri Lanka. Go to the website of this year, Department of Census and Statistics. Don't go to nonsense websites. Department of Census and Statistics, right? They will open a PDF like this for you. Okay. In this one, you can see, guys. So look at the province with the highest poverty headcount. Poverty headcount means from that population in that province, how many people are in poverty. See, so in the Western province, 5.7. So what does that mean here? Here 5.7. That means in the Western province, out of 100 people, 5.7 people are in poverty. That's a percentage. Then which province has the highest case? Central 18, Southern 12, Northern 23. Highest is in Uva, no? Right? Uva has the highest. So in the Uva province, 28.3% of the people are in poverty. This is 2019. Now, a new survey has not been done. A new survey, they should do it very soon, right? So 28.3 people are in poverty. Go through these stuff are tested in the mock exams also. Okay, so highest poverty is in Uva. I don't know if the answer was the same in 2012, right? Yes. If they're asking this year, they'll ask from the 2019 survey. This survey doesn't happen every year, guys. So last they did a survey in around 2013. Now the survey, there is a 2019 survey. The results of it came out only last year. So last year there was a question from this. So maybe this year also there can be a question from this. Can someone check, is it the same in 2012 also? What's the answer in the past paper? Past paper answer is 2. All right, so don't study that now. Right now, remember, according to the 2019 poverty headcount survey, right, Uva is the province with the highest one, 2019. Now, maybe 3-4 years later, if a new survey comes out, maybe this can also change. But for now, if they ask you the question, don't say Eastern. You need to say Uva. You know, this may be with a for a previous thing. Fine. Okay. How did you all do with these questions? There was 1, 2, how many questions in total? There was 9 questions. How much out of 9? At least 6. Yes, 7. Okay, good. Right. Okay. Now the questions now little by little get easy. Okay. Now for now it might be a little hard. So many different things. Really 2 papers now. By the time we come to 2019-20 paper, everything is the same thing they ask. 1 or 2 new questions will be there, but almost 4 or 5 are the same thing. Right. So 2012 is done.